It would help if I was on fucking stage, right? Stage. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to One Collection Down and welcome to Horrorfest 2025, man. I'm so excited. This is our second entry into Horrorfest, and tonight we got a good one, a very obscure movie. I mean, this one was tough to find. And not only was it tough to find, but I couldn't believe I've never heard of it until just recently. But we'll get into it. We're talking about the movie Necronomicon from 1993. Of course, I'm always joined by a crew. Tonight, I got a small crew, but a mighty crew. A group of guys that I love so much. And actually, my co-Horrorfest hosts. So this is going to be a great one, man. So let's get this party started. Let's bring out my first panelist, my homie, my brother, Mr. Blood, Splatter, Chatter himself, Verno.
Oh, I was hoping you were going to make Robbie go first. What up, man? I'm excited. I'm excited to be here.
You're kicking it out tonight, brother.
I'm glad you're doing Horrorfest, man. This is dope. This was, like you said, this was. Not only had I never heard of it, but man, Amazon Prime had never heard of it. Fandango had never heard of it. Tubi had never heard of it. Nobody heard of this thing other than you and Two Gun Pedro. But yeah, it was a. Once I found it, it was a good find. So thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it.
Oh yeah, brother, absolutely. Yeah. I always give Robbie shit for picking these movies I can never find that I always got to rent and shit. And I thought Spillio had me beat when he picked Ford Fairlane or that movie with Andrew Dice Clay that nobody could find. But apparently this shit is even harder than Ford Fairlane to find. I checked freaking Amazon, $130 for a European copy of this movie.
Wow.
I didn't even see an American copy. It's a European copy. It's $130. I was like, damn, there's no way. Although, if I can't find it for cheap, I think I might pick it up. But anyway, let's bring out our final panelists. I told you it was a small crew today, but a mighty one. Of course, the man, the myth, the legend, Rocket Robbie Billups.
Station pop boo. So excited to be here for Horrorfest. Fable, so happy that you're joining us. Verno and Bloodsplatter Chatter, they've been here for a couple years now doing Horrorfest with us. Dylan as well. PCP, we've been doing it forever. In fact, all three of us here on the panel, we just live it. And what a great show. Man, we only needed Dylan. If Dylan could have joined us, this would have been like the perfect horror host panel and the perfect movie for us to talk about together. I'm just going to tell you, man, to quote, I mean, just basically to echo what you guys talk about. Never heard of this movie. I don't even think, I love what you say, Verno, where you're like, Amazon don't know about it. Tubi don't know it. Hell, I don't even think Brian Usna remembers making this movie, dude. I never heard of it. Very excited. And this, where I'm here tonight because it's a form of collusion. I was running really low. Nobody wanted to join us for Humanoids from the Deep. And I begged Fable to join, and we made a pact that I would join for this if he joined for that. And here I am, and I'm glad I am, because otherwise it would just been you two. Fucking talking about this movie.
I mean, we would have rocked it. We would have rocked it.
I would have killed it, man. But I'm happy to be here, man. Happy to have this movie under my belt now.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? And Vinegar Syndrome, Arrow, somebody's got to do a U.S. release of this.
Man. Somebody. Right. They've done them for worse fucking movies. Come on. Right. Let's be honest.
Yes, they have.
Oh, man. Yeah, man. Thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight. Everybody in the chat. I will be highlighting your comments tonight. So if you got any thoughts on this film, that's if you could freaking find it. Please feel free to let us know how you feel. I'll be highlighting them all night. But fellas, let's get into this movie, Necronomicon. So this film was actually completed in 1993. And in that year of 1993, it was actually shown at the London Film Festival in November. And then it had a release the following year in 1994, but only in Japan, which was kind of strange. And then it sat on the shelf all the way to 1996, where it was released October 29th to direct video. And apparently nobody gave a shit because shit disappeared for almost 30 years. But Yeah, this thing had a budget of $4 million. It was produced by Brian Usna, who we all know as the longtime collaborator with Stuart Gordon on Reanimator and From Beyond. Also, the director of Night of the Living Dead, or Return of the Living Dead, Part 3, which Robbie just covered not too long ago on one of his Horrorfest shows, which I was on. Had a pleasure of doing that. And honestly, I've become somewhat of a Brian Usna fan. That's kind of what led me to find this thing. Because I was collaborating with a Two Gun, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. Two Gun, he's giving me suggestions, and I don't know how I got to Necronomicon. I think I just fucking Googled Necronomicon, and this thing popped up. It was like, Brian Usna, Jeffrey Combs, what the hell? But yeah, $4 million budget, produced by Brian Usna and Samuel Hadida. It features 3 distinct segments, also a wraparound story. It was conceived as a collaboration between American, European, and Japanese directors. That was Brian Usna's whole, kind of brainstorm idea to put this movie together. He wanted to represent European horror, I guess Japanese horror, and American horror. Brian Usna directed the wraparound story, as well as the 3rd segment called Whispers. The first segment, The Drowned, is directed by Christophe Gans, a French director, which I've never heard of, never seen any of his films. But
he did Brotherhood of the Wolf.
There you go. I knew somebody would come up with something. And the 3rd director is Shusuke Kaneko, who directed The Cold, which is the 2nd segment. So Brian Usna has the wraparound and the last segment, and Christophe Gans has the first, and Kaneko has the 2nd segment.
Okay.
All 3 segments are loosely based on stories by H.P. Lovecraft, who Brian Usna, I guess that's a muse for him, right? Because they worked on Reanimator and From Beyond, and looks like a well that he keeps tapping. It features extensive special effects and animatronic effects, which were actually supervised by Tom Savini.
I read that. That's cool.
Yeah, which is amazing.
I did not know
this,
that.
This is not typical of, like, Robbie, you agree with that? Not typical of what I would think of Savini to do. So that was pretty interesting. When I read it,
I'm very curious. True. You say supervising with the low budget. I wonder if it's like his students, because I think he may have had his school out at this time.
Yeah, the guys who actually created the effects were John Carl Buechler. I'm sorry if I'm messing that up. Christopher Nelson and Screaming Mad George.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he worked with Brian on like Society, right? They worked on Society together, and they may have worked on Bride of Reanimator together. You were given that really illustrious filmography of Brian Usna. Don't forget, he did one of those shitty Silent Night, Deadly Night movies you all hated, but I love.
Oh no, yeah, that one was all right. Which one? Which one was it? Do you know?
What did he do? 4? Or was it 5? It was one of them.
Let's just call it the slimy one. I'm sure it was.
It's the one with, is it the one with Clint Howard that he did? Right? Isn't it?
Sure. I'll look it up.
I can't even see it. I can't even think it. And also, didn't he do the Dentist movies? I think as well. Did a lot of Brian Usna did a lot of like cool stuff, man.
Yeah. Brian Usna seems like the kind of director that likes to have fun on his movies. Like, he just balls to the wall, doesn't give a fuck. You know what I mean? He's having a good time.
He did Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 4.
Part 4, yeah. I remember liking that
one. The music is actually broken up between 2 composers. First composer is Joseph DeLuca, who did the music for The Library and The Drowned. So that's the wraparound and the first segment. And you may know him, and he's pretty big in our world too. He actually scored all 3 Evil Dead movies.
Oh, wow.
Evil Dead 1, Evil Dead 2, Army of Darkness. And he even scored the television show Ash versus the Evil Dead.
Nice.
He also did like Xena and Hercules and like all those things, man. Yeah. He's like Sam Raimi's guy, dude.
Right. And he also did the Evil Dead video game, which is crazy if you ever played the video game. And you might love this, Robbie. He did Curse of Chucky, Cult of Chucky, and he is the current music guy for Chucky, the TV series.
Nice.
Well, son of a bitch. We'll be talking about him about like a week and a half, 2 weeks.
Start watching them movies faster. I'm one down, baby. One down.
I'm halfway through, man. I actually
Saw
went
that.
through the first 3 Child's Play movies, and I was like, you know what? I'm doing the fucking remake right now.
I saw you did that. I'm like, noted. I'm like, I think I'm gonna do that. That's a good call. Break it up.
Yeah, so pretty cool little resume there that I discovered. I mean, Evil Dead, come on, that's like top 5 for me.
Hell yeah.
At least maybe those 3 movies are in the top 5 for me, all 3 of them. But yeah, the other composer is Daniel Licht, who did The Cold, which is the second segment, and Whispers, which is the last segment. And he's a little less known. He's done a lot of B movies, tons of B and C movies. But some of the ones he's probably well known for, or, in our community, he's known for. He's done Amityville, It's About Time, which I don't think I've seen. He's also done Amityville, A New Generation. He did Children of the Corn Part 2, Children of the Corn Part 3, and a movie that I feel is underappreciated in the Hellraiser series. He did Hellraiser Bloodlines,
Okay.
which
Oh,
I
cool.
liked. Yeah,
I was hoping you'd say Inferno.
He was also he also did a bunch of video game work. So if you ever played Silent Hill games, he did a few of the Silent Hill games. He did Dishonored. I don't know if anybody's ever played Dishonored. He did a few of the games in the Dishonored series. But what he's mostly known for, and you might have picked up on this if you were paying attention to the music, is he scored the entirety of the Dexter TV series.
That was funny, dude, to find that. I found that out right before we went live because I was just looking it up, right? And Horror Geek, who me and Vernon are huge fans of, did an episode about this. And there's a moment where he goes, "Is this the score from Dexter?"
Yes.
And I didn't get the joke.
Guys, I was watching The Cold, and I heard the Dexter theme song while The Cold was playing.
No kid, really?
Yeah, I was like, holy shit.
Can you imagine? This dude's just like, fuck, dude. Nobody remembers this fucking movie. I can
Right.
reuse it.
Perfect. Is this out in the US yet? No? Clip it.
Well, I was watching it, and I was like, oh, dude, the guy who did Dexter totally stole this guy's music. And then I was like, oh, shit, he did the Dexter show. So pretty cool, man. Pretty cool stuff.
That's a pro tip, bro. You can't steal from yourself, especially when nobody owns the rights. Fuck.
There you go.
Let's go.
There you go. All right, man. So I wanted to break convention a little bit. I wanted to, since this is an anthology, I kind of wanted to break down each segment of this movie. We have the wraparound story, and we have 3 stories: the library, the drowned, and the cold. And no, wait. Wraparound is the library. The drowned, the cold, and whispers are the segments. So I wanted to get into the wraparound first. The library. So the library was directed by Brian Usna, written by Brian Usna, and starring Jeffrey Combs as H.P. Lovecraft. It also has Tony Azito as the librarian, and a special guest appearance by Brian Usna himself, man, as the cabbie.
Yeah, I saw
that. So basically, the library sets up the whole premise of the movie. It's about H.P. Lovecraft basically infiltrating this monastery of monks who happen to have this like extensive library of tomes and spell books and shit. And he's in there to get the Necronomicon. So he basically sneaks his way into the, I don't know, inner catacomb, or freaking looks like a cage they keep this thing in, to steal the Necronomicon. And he gets in, and when he gets in, he gets locked into this room, right? And he starts, he takes it's like kept in the safe, this weird ass safe. And he opens the safe, the safe opens itself, right? Because the cage door closes and the safe door opens.
Right.
So he basically takes the book out, starts reading the book, and that's how we get into the 3 segments of this movie, the 3 little stories that he's reading. Also, while he's reading the book, there seems to be like some sort of fucking creature swimming under him or something like that.
Right.
And he tries to get out, the room when the cage closes, but he drops the keys right into that fucking pit where the creature is. So he's basically trapped in there. And at the end of the movie, the monks discover that he obviously stole the key, that he's down there reading the Necronomicon. So they go to get him, and like this is where the movie gets fucking crazy. Like it gets super bizarre. But basically, the guy can't get into the room, right? Because he dropped the fucking keys. And the creature that's like lurking below grabs fucking H.P. Lovecraft, and he happens to just have this sword, his cane, and he just stabs the shit out of this thing. And we find out that the monk that discovered that he stole the keys and stuff, he's not even human, this dude, right? And they get into a little tussle or whatever, and freaking H.P. Lovecraft just fucking rips this guy's face off. It was just like the gnarliest thing.
Super gnarly.
Super dope, dude. So like the horror geek, the whole time he's talking about this movie, keeps calling that monk Dalsing from fucking Street Fighter, and then he goes, and this would have been a fatality, but then he realized he was in Street Fighter and not Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, so also while this is all happening, the safe where the book is happens to have these like doors in the back of the safe. And every time Jeffrey Combs finishes a story, a door opens, like a weird door opens until the end of the movie where the final door opens. And I guess this is the Lovecraftian shit about it. Some freaking interdimensional creature comes out of the damn thing and totally rips the monk's head off. Jeffrey Combs zooms out of there with the Necronomicon, gets away, and that's basically the wraparound for this story. So, guys, I wanted to know your overall thoughts on this wraparound segment that kicks off and ends Necronomicon. Verno, I'll start with you. What did you think of this wraparound? What effectiveness? You know what I mean?
Right. Well, first off, I love Jeffrey Combs. He's a dude that I would have never known who Jeffrey Combs was until I started doing DHS and got deeper into the horror game, and then led to Blood Splatter Chatter. Excuse me. But I love him, and mainly that's coming from Reanimator and From Beyond. That's doing the heavy lifting for why I love the guy. Such a classic character, especially with Herbert West. But it fucking irked me that he had the hey, what up, Blood Splatter Chatter? That he had the prosthetics on, man. It was whatever, but I couldn't get it out of my head. That's like, why did you put this fake nose on? Why do you have this fake chin on? That's not what you look like. So that irked me for whatever reason. I wish he just looked like, just imagine watching the whole movie and it looked like Jeffrey Combs. I just think for whatever reason that would have been a little bit cooler for whatever reason. And I had to look into it because I know he's famous for being on tons and tons of Star Trek episodes. I think he's played more characters in Star Trek series than I think anybody. Don't quote me on that. And I had to look like, oh, was he already doing that? Was he really used to wearing a bunch of prosthetics at this point? He's like, here, make me up. Like maybe he was into it, and he wasn't. He hadn't started doing the bulk of his Star Trek work yet. But either way, regardless, I'm a sucker for it might turn some people off that, oh, he's playing H.P. Lovecraft. But I like stuff like that. Like I really enjoy that he's H.P. Lovecraft. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but the way you guys take it, they're basically saying this is how Lovecraft came up with all of his stuff. He stole the Necronomicon, and that's why we have all these Lovecraft stories, right? Which I thought was cool. It's a little bit weird. Like, what are we supposed to believe? That all of these stories are in the Necronomicon and they're all like kind of taking place in the present? Or whatever was present at the time. I think it's like the 90s or maybe the 70s. I read is where it takes place, but whatever. So that was a little bit weird. But other than that, like honestly, it does its job. Every time that none of them last too long when they're doing the wraparound bits, and you get crazy special effects and a payoff in each one. I just did an anthology movie, and they had a very similar thing for their wraparound story for VHS Halloween. Don't got to get into the details, but it was just there for fun. It was just there to show you some crazy shit. And in my opinion, like it did its job. And I love seeing Jeffrey Combs in it. And there's not a whole lot that I have to say on it, other than that it was cool. Mainly just to see H.P. Lovecraft and Jeffrey Combs playing him. Pretty dope overall.
Oh yeah! Every time I saw Jeffrey Combs, I thought it was Bruce Campbell. I was like, this guy,
because he's got that damn prosthetic that he had in Escape from L.A., right, where they made him look like Mac Tonight from McDonald's or whatever.
I was gonna ask you, like, what didn't it seem like the guy that we found out at the end wasn't human? And he's squeezing through bars and stuff. Didn't at one point in the wraparound story, it was almost like that was his intent, right? Like, wasn't he using H.P. Lovecraft to get the book, and then he was going to steal it or something? Is that the way you guys read it? Like, at one point, he's like, "No, let him go. Like, don't stop him." He was almost like getting him to steal the book.
I don't know if that was his intent, but it definitely felt like, I mean, the way he took the keys. How could you not notice that this guy took the keys, right? And then when he was informed, because the other monk saw him go downstairs.
Okay,
right? The other monk caught him. And he just reported to the main monk. And the main monk is like, well, that's humans for you. And that's kind of where we find out, like, you know what I mean? That they're aliens of some sort, or in Lovecraftian universe,
extra-dimensional
people or whatever. I kind of got that sense. Not maybe they wanted to release the creature. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But at the same time, at the end, one of the monks was like, "You don't know what you just did." He's like, "You just fucking unleashed hell on earth, basically."
Right.
So I don't know. It's vague.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, Robbie, overall thoughts on the wraparound story, The Library.
Well, first of all, to answer Verno, I didn't pick up on that. Like, that's news to me. I'm like, oh man, maybe there is something there where they were trying to like allow him to do it for like a certain amount for something. I didn't really think too much about it. But all right, so for the most part, when you do these anthology films, the wraparound is usually one of the more lame bits, right? Even in something like Creepshow, and I love Creepshow, and I love every bit of Creepshow, including the wraparound, but even the wraparound's like one of the weaker parts.
Right, it wouldn't stand on its own.
Exactly, right? Even though it's got Tom Atkins, and it's got Joe Hill, and Tom Atkins slaps the shit out of him, right? In front of Stephen King, his dad, and not Tom Atkins' dad, but he's Joe Hill's dad. That would be impossible, I think, to be Tom Atkins' dad. So knowing that I typically think these things are a little weak for the wraparounds, like I actually liked it because of Jeffrey Combs as H.P. Lovecraft. Now, I've seen Jeffrey Combs play Edgar Allan Poe, right? He plays Edgar Allan Poe in Masters of Horror Season 2. Stuart Gordon does the Black Cat, and he's Edgar Allan Poe, in which the story is happening to him, but he's also narrating it. So I thought that was cool. I love that he was playing H.P. Lovecraft, especially with him being such a significant part of movies like Reanimator and From Beyond, which are based on Lovecraft stories. I loved having the little cameo from Brian Usna in it. When Brian and Stuart were coming up with the idea to do Reanimator, like Stuart and Brian had this idea that we could do a series of movies all based on H.P. Lovecraft stories. Nobody's doing that, right? They did Reanimator. They did From Beyond. Eventually, Stuart did Dagon and Dreams at Witch House for Masters of Horror. But Usna did Bride of Reanimator and a very 80s Lovecraftian-esque type tale with Society. So it was cool to see this happen. I wish Stuart Gordon could have been a part of it and done one of the segments, but I didn't even put together that it's like an American filmmaker, and a European filmmaker, and an Asian filmmaker, and I'm like, that's actually kind of fucking genius and ahead of its time, in a time where not many people realized that there were 3 different schools of horror like that, just like with comics. There's the Asian side of things, and like, I mean, when this movie would have released, I had no idea what J-horror was. You know what I'm saying? I never heard of Takashi Miike. Audition wasn't out yet. Definitely none of these things had come over into the States. We didn't get that until we had remakes of Ju-on with The Grudge, remakes of Ringu with The Ring, and stuff like that. So that's really neat. I actually like the prosthetics, Verno.
Did you?
In one of the videos I saw, they said that Jeffrey Combs almost passed up on doing it. And Brian really wanted him to do it, but he almost passed up because he goes, I don't look like H.P. Lovecraft. So Brian had to be like, what if we gave you prosthetics to make you look like him? And then he's like,
Right.
all right, I'll do it then. So it was one of the reasons why he did it. But yeah, he's got that chin, he's got that nose. You can still tell it's Jeffrey Combs, though, especially with that delivery. And that's what makes it work.
Right.
And I love the effects, especially when, when Dawson is squeezing through the fucking cage bars, I was like, is that real? Like, are they really like they really cut that dude's dick off in Cannibal Holocaust and they really squished this dude through 2 narrow ass bars. But I like it. It's all right. It's good. It's nice to have Lovecraft represented, even though these stories are they're all based on a Lovecraft story, but they're not all actually adaptations of Lovecraft stories, if that makes sense. There are elements of all 3 of these within a Lovecraft story, but these are not actually Lovecraft stories. So to have him there, I like it because it almost gives us the sense that he's copying down these tales. Then he puts his own spin on it. Right? And I do like that. Jeffrey Combs is the shit. Brian Usna is the shit. The effects are amazing when he's stabbing that dude at the end. I love that he's got that goddamn Splinter cane sword, from the action figure, right? He's like pulling out, blood's pouring out. Like that's just there's some really good gore in this movie, man. And for a wraparound, it really does excel at what it needs to do, and it does it well, man. So I like it.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you guys. I definitely found it entertaining. Better, like you said, better than most wraparounds that you see in these anthology horrors. As a matter of fact, when it first started, I was in. I don't know about you guys, but you know what I mean? That whole pulling up in the 1920s car and
for sure
getting into that monastery and I don't know what it was about what was being done, but it totally gave me Sam Raimi vibes. Maybe it was the music, right? Because now I know the guy who did the music for this segment is a Sam Raimi guy. But like just the shots, the angles that he was playing with, the colors, things like that. Like when he got in front of the door, there's like this fisheye lens and he's like looking at the camera before he's sneaking in. I totally caught Evil Dead vibes. But yeah, this thing sucked me in. And at the end, when, like Robbie said, when the guy was squeezing his head through the fucking thing, I'm like, yo, that's really fucking good. Like, that's not bad at all. The ripping the face off thing looked kind of goofy, and the little creature that ate his head looked kind of goofy, but you forgive it for the time. But I think it was gnarly, and that's what I like about it.
I thought the face ripping was pretty dope.
Yeah,
honestly, I thought it was really cool.
He turned that motherfucker into the Chatterer, man.
Yeah.
And he was telling him too. He was still talking with that shit, that weird thing. But yeah, I agree, guys. I thought it was very, very entertaining. All right, so let's get into our first segment, The Drowned. This one was directed by, like I said, French director Christophe Gans, written by Christophe Gans, and it's loosely based off the H.P. Lovecraft story, The Rats in the Walls. Which I don't know about you guys. Have you guys ever read H.P. Lovecraft before?
Robbie has. I have.
I'm a huge fan. Yeah, I got the collected works. I'm a huge fan. I haven't read everything,
right?
But I am a quite a fan of H.P. Lovecraft. And before anybody comes at me, yes, I know that he was a deplorable human being and pretty much racist. Okay, but one of the things that's so amazing about H.P. Lovecraft is this dude was literally scared of everything. He was scared of minorities. He was scared of women. He was scared of going outside. He was scared of fucking fish, which should be obvious, right? But that fear that he had in every moment of his day comes across. And I love that he brings about this idea of like fear of the unknown, that like the universe is actually filled. Yeah, the universe is filled with ancient forces, magic, and gods. And they don't give a fuck about you, bro. You are nothing. You are an ant to them, if even that. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I love. And the use of insanity. Only somebody who truly walks that line can really capture that as well as H.P. Lovecraft did, I think. That line of fear and insanity and barely making it, dude. Yeah,
he's good with obsession too.
Yeah.
I've often heard that his stories are near impossible to adapt.
That's what they say. I mean, I hear they're like hard to like read too. Like they're written oddly. They're like I've heard it's more fun to think about H.P. Lovecraft stories afterwards than to read them. I don't know. I'm talking out of my
I
ass.
really like them. What's crazy is they're not well written. Like they're not
Yeah.
written. They're not written beautifully with like excellent use of language or anything like that. They do honestly feel, because most of them are first person about somebody recounting something, and they do feel like, fuck, I got 20 minutes. I got to get this out before I lose it, before I go crazy, or before they bust in the door and the agents of Cthulhu are coming to get me and shit like that, you know?
But yeah, The Drowned stars Bruce Payne as Edward de Lepere. I'm sorry.
You talking about Bruce Payne from Warlock Part 3?
Yes, sir. Not only Warlock Part 3, but Passenger 57 and Highlander. And also Belinda Bauer as Nancy Galmore. So she's the one that's showing Edward around the estate in the beginning of the film. She's in a lot of shit too, but I just don't remember off top. And it also stars Richard Lynch as Edward's uncle, Jethro de la Poor. And he's been in, oh my God, countless B movies, including Alligator 2, Trancers 2, and Puppet Master 3. You guys saw those movies.
Seems like there's a lot of people involved in this movie that did a lot of shitty sequels. Amityville, Puppet Master.
It makes sense. Like Brian Usna did work with Charles Band. You know what I'm saying? So I bet he was just like, yo, man, can I see your I don't know, what do they call those things back in the day? Your Rolodex? Can I see your Rolodex?
So it basically tells the story of this dude, Edward, who inherits his uncle's estate 60 years after the fact that the guy died. The estate is in like dilapidation, right? It's falling apart or whatever. And Edward had recently lost his wife in a car accident, right? They careened off of some highway and the car went underwater. His wife drowned. So he recently inherited this estate after she died. And in inheriting the estate, he also got a letter that was left to him by his uncle. So he reads the letter, and the letter basically recounts, I guess, the last few days of his uncle's life. And they actually do a flashback. The uncle, played by Richard Lynch, where basically he's coming home from a trip somewhere, and his boat crashes. And in the crash, he loses his wife, he loses his son. So he's really distraught about it. And he even renounces God, right? Like there's a scene in the thing where he's like, you know, if you're into God, he there's no room for him in this house. Like, you know what I mean? Get out. He throws out.
He's like, if you went to Jesus, get the fuck on out of here, man.
But then he's like visited by this like weird, mysterious sea creature, which
like
also looked pretty cool.
Fucking sea creature I've ever seen. He was so cool looking. Well, I can't believe we didn't see more of him. Like, where is that outfit and costume? He got 30 seconds of screen time. It must have taken him months to be created, man.
Yeah, dude, that looked better than all the CG in Pirates of the Caribbean.
Dude, God, they should have borrowed that for Pirates of the Caribbean. Seriously,
that should have been Davy Jones's fucking outfit, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And the sea creature comes in and gives him the Necronomicon. And within the pages of the Necronomicon, Jethro finds out how to resurrect his wife and child. And when they come back, they don't. You know how these stories go. They absolutely don't come back as they were. And like
they come back as squid people, man.
Yeah, the kid comes out. And this fucking octopus that comes out of his face.
Crazy.
And the wife, they don't really show her too much, but you can tell like her face is fucked up. You know what I mean? And this, like, I don't know, drives this guy over the top. He basically unalives himself, throws himself off a balcony or whatever. So in reading this letter, Edward gets the idea, because his wife just passed away, that he might do the same. So he goes hunting for the book, actually finds the book behind a painting of his aunt, the lady that died and got resurrected. And then he attempts to do the same thing. And when his wife gets resurrected, she comes back fucked up too. And she looks all crazy. She what does she do? She kisses him on his chest, and it's like all this nasty, slimy shit. And then
you know what she says?
Hot, man.
She goes, she's down in his nether regions, And she's this sea creature kind, and she says, "I'm tired of blowing bubbles."
Yes.
Like, what?
That's the
What?
craziest line.
Okay. It was like the best line. And it's so dry. It's not like the music's all like swelling and it's not trying to be funny. And she says the funniest line of the whole fucking movie.
Yeah, no, that was a great line. But yeah, she does the same bit, has octopus tentacles coming out and stuff. And so he like basically grabs for a knife, he cuts her ass, and when he cuts her ass, like she's like connected to this tentacle, and she gets flung out the room. Come to find out, she's actually a piece of a more bigger creature, which again is a Lovecraftian. I'm assuming is a Lovecraftian kind of thing, extraterrestrial creature that lives under the house.
Yeah, big one-eyed, heavily tentacled kind of a thing.
Yeah, which also looked pretty cool, right? It's like a lot of effects in this, and all of these segments really like Vernal said, it's amazing how they put so much love and work into it, but they're literally on the screen for seconds, if not a minute or less. Yeah, so the creature, breaks through the floor, tries to get Edward. Edward jumps onto some sort of like chandelier type thing that has like a spike under it, and he cuts the chandelier. Chandelier falls, stabs the creature, kills the creature. Edward gets away through the roof, and that's how we end that segment. So, Verno, what is your overall thoughts on The Drowned?
I thought this was cool. This was maybe the most. Who directed it? Do you remember off the top of your head? You got it there.
Christophe Gans.
And is that the American director?
That's the French director.
The French one. I think maybe this might have been like my favorite directed, the most like cinematic looking one. It's first of all what I signed up for. The reason why I picked this one was for shit like this, like that. When I think Brian Usna, I think practical effects, and I think gooey, slimy, crazy effects. That's like what he gives you. And this creature that you mentioned was amazing. That's the thing, like totally sold me by the end. I loved that big giant Lovecraftian creature. It reminded me of in From Beyond when they go down in the basement and we've got old boy's wearing his little Speedo and shit with his nuts hanging out with a big crazy monster down there. It really reminded me of that. Ken Foray is the man whose penis I'm talking about.
Yep.
But at the beginning of it, because we've got the little bit of the wraparound at first, which is the first bit of the wraparound. There's not a shitload happening. It's easing you into the story. It's setting it up, and then when you get into this one, this is one thing that like I talked about this when I just did VHS Halloween. Sometimes it's hard to get a rhythm in anthologies because each one starts and okay, you got to ease you into this one. And I thought it started out a little bit slow because now you're in a story, and then it's kind of slow going up to he finds this book, and now you're in a story.
Right.
Flashback, and now you're setting that up again, and it's kind of slow building up. But by the end of it, this one really like won me over. I thought it was pretty badass by the end of it. Maybe the best acting in all of them. I thought everybody was pretty solid. There's not a shitload going on, but pretty solid. But it really like the main thing I could say about it is the practical effects really won me over. Like thematically and stuff, it's stuff that we've seen, but it was done as well as we've seen it done. It's Pet Cemetery. Right. It's all those stories where you're trying to bring back a dead person that you love and they come back all fucked up. So I know you said you wanted to just touch on themes and stuff. It's like this guy struggling with his faith and acceptance and forgiving himself. Both structurally, I liked it too. I like just like the way that again, just to bring up VHS Beyond or Halloween, they did another really similar thing where it's like you're telling one story, but then you really figure out what happened in the other story through this other story because the same fucking thing happens. And so I thought it was pretty damn cool. This was probably up there from, if it wasn't my favorite, it maybe be my second favorite one. But a little dry and a little slow, and not as for the practical effects that you get, it's not as fun if you're telling somebody about it, like, oh my God, there's this crazy sea creature, and there's that. You might assume it's a little bit more fun than it is, but it's kind of has that ghost story vibe, which doesn't really go with that. Ghost stories tend to be a little bit more somber, and which this one definitely is. So it's cool. I thought it was solid. and one of the better ones in the bunch.
Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. Robbie, overall thoughts on The Drowned?
I liked it overall. It's not my favorite story in the batch. I do. There is something that I really do hate in film, and it's flashbacks within flashbacks within fucking flashbacks, man.
right.
Like I'm watching this movie, I'm like, wait a second, what level of inception am I on right now? I don't even know if I'm making it back to the real fucking movie soon, or I may not even be in my real life right now, dude. I can't even think about what my kids' faces look like right now. You know what I'm saying? But that kind of stuff like does kind of annoy me just a little bit. And you know what? It's not the only story that
I know.
that, right?
By the end of it, I thought like, oh, they're gonna do this for everyone.
Yeah, right. Because even in movies, which, for instance, I'm a fan of Ang Lee, and Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon is one of his most popular movies. I love that movie. But God damn it, I hate the flashback within a flashback shit. Like that shit, kind of like I'm like, whoa. You didn't even do the thing, right?
Willy.
But I do like the story. When I'm watching this, I'm like, I've never read The Drowned, because at this time I don't know that these are just kind of based on other Lovecraft stories, but like slightly different. And I was like, I don't remember The Drowned, but it seems Lovecraftian because it's got elements of Cthulhu, Call of Cthulhu. It's got elements of Dagon for sure. There's a lot of fucking slimy fish creatures and fear of water.
Yes.
And just like, and like usually when people talk about fear of water, they talk about like the drowning aspect of it, right? And the movie's called The Drowned and all that kind of shit, right? But the other thing that really works for me here and in other Lovecraftian tales is water being a decomposing force. The way that water can seep into a house and make the house shaky and decrepit and decaying, right? The decaying nature, the eroding nature of water. And that's something that I think is more fearful. Like Lovecraft wasn't scared of drowning. He was scared of slimy fish people, and he was scared of what water can do.
Yeah.
Right? Like water's this like at times can be, like I said, this decaying, eroding force. And it's a very powerful force, and it's a very unknown force, right? It's kind of like space, like what's in the ocean, what's in space. These are things that come about. I love what you were talking about the theme, Verno, about like all of the themes in all three of these stories are very similar. And same thing with a lot of Lovecraft stuff. It's about pushing beyond what you are capable of, right? And I mean, fuck, we were talking about Curse of Frankenstein last night. I said, ignoring your own faults and misunderstanding and overestimating your own abilities, right? And you get that in this, like, all right, yeah, I just found this book. Yeah, I'll do this fucking magic ritual. It's fine. Yeah, I just read this flashback about what happened to this dude.
Right,
you know what?
that's a great point.
I'm gonna fucking do it.
Let me do it too. That'll be different.
You seem to work well for him, well enough.
Yeah, like, I'm smarter than that guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I do like it. I do feel like it's structured weird because it's kind of like a retelling and then a retelling and then a telling again.
Right.
But outside of that, like the effects are amazing. The story itself is good. It feels very Lovecraftian. I think the performances are good. I think it might be my least favorite of all the stories, but I do think it's solid, and I think that's why it works as a good opening story outside of the framing device.
Yeah. I echo both of you guys. You guys both hit the nail on the head. I feel like Vernal said it is a little slow. It is a little weird that we got a flashback within a flashback. I would even go as far as to say as I'd rather see Jethro's story, his uncle's story, rather than anything that happened in the present day or whatever time.
Yeah, I want to know how he becomes the Grammy award-winning musical artist. There was no flutes in this story. There's a flute in another story, but not this one.
I to me it felt like Tales from the Crypt.
Yeah,
it felt something like some straight out of Tales from the Crypt. With the green glowing eyes of the little boy and things like that. It isn't my favorite either, and I do agree that I don't know, it goes by too fast, if that makes any sense. right?
It's a little longer than I thought because I went back to rewatch this one. Like I just rewatched this one. I skipped the wraparound. And I watched the first two stories before we got rolling to refresh myself, and I was surprised it's like 30 minutes long, or just shy of it. I was like, damn. But yeah,
no, I felt like, I guess because we didn't linger too much on the creatures that were in this thing, it kind of like, a lot of it is just, exposition, whatever, setting up whatever's going to happen. Then when we finally get it, it's so fast. It's so fast. But I enjoyed it for the most part. Like Robbie said, I think it's a great intro to the segments that are to come. And yeah, I mean, theme-wise, it's the same thing we've always, like you said, with Pet Sematary, these stories, right? Pandora's box kind of thing. Don't do it. You know what I mean? Don't bring back your fucking dead loved ones. It's never gonna turn out the way.
Never. Fuck.
But yeah, I thought The Drown was pretty decent. All right, so let's move on to the second segment, The Cold. This one is directed by Shusuke Kaneko, written by Kazunori Ito, loosely based off the story by H.P. Lovecraft, Cool Air. I don't know if you read that one, Robbie.
I have, yeah.
It's starring David Warner as Dr. Madden. David Warner, oh my gosh, like probably the most well-known actor in this film. Probably.
Yeah. Secret of the Ooze, baby.
Yeah, Secret of the Ooze, The Omen, Tron, Scream 2, Star Trek 6, The Undiscovered Country he was in. And he was even the voice of Ra's al Ghul in Batman, the animated series, which I did not know. Yeah.
Detective.
It stars also Bess Meyer as Emily Osterman, Millie Perkins as Lena, Dennis Christopher, another actor that's been in like a bunch of shit. He was in It.
That Eddie Spaghetti. Yeah.
Yeah. He's in Fade to Black, man. Which I love.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, and he was even in Django Unchained.
I saw that.
Yeah.
I looked at his filmography to make sure that was Eddie Spaghetti.
And in a quick cameo, Gary Graham as Sam. Gary Graham, who's most famous for the television show Alien Nation, but who I absolutely love from Robot Jocks from Stuart Gordon.
Hell yeah.
Wasn't
he Stick in the Daredevil show too, or am I thinking of another guy? It just looks familiar.
No, it's another guy.
Okay.
I don't think it was him. Yeah. So yeah, this one is basically a story about a reporter who's investigating these murders that have taken place over a few decades, and it leads him to believe that this guy named Dr. Madden is responsible for these murders. So he goes to Dr. Madden's address, and when he knocks on the door in the house is this lady named Emily, who claims to be living there with her mother, and that she has no clue what happened to Dr. Madden, right? And the reporter doesn't believe her. And he basically says she better tell the truth, or he's just going to come out with the story that he's written, which I guess he's basically blaming Dr. Madden for these murders. And then we have a flashback within a flashback, where Emily starts explaining that her mother actually met Dr. Madden 20 years ago when she was escaping an abusive father. She was running away from home, abusive father. Found her way into Dr. Madden's estate, which is like is broken down into apartments or whatever. Like she lives on the second floor, Dr. Madden lives on the last floor. Lena, his assistant, lives throughout the house, I guess. But anyway, so she's staying at the house, and while she's staying there, her stepfather actually tracks her down, and tries to like fucking abuse her right there. And Dr. Madden steps in, stabs this guy in the hand, and Emily just passes out, right? So when Emily wakes up, she's in Dr. Madden's apartment, and she sees that Lena and Dr. Madden are doing some weird shit over some kind of like contraption kind of thing. And which gets her like curious, and she comes to find out that, because she's asked him, where's my stepfather? You know what I mean? Where'd he go? or whatever. And she comes to find out that her stepfather's missing, so she confronts Dr. Madden. Dr. Madden actually admits to her that he killed her stepfather. And not only that, but that he has some weird kind of disease where he can't like go out in the sunlight or get direct heat. And that he's been making this serum to help him with it. And the serum actually comes from the Necronomicon, which they show there. And basically, she sleeps with him, right? Like, I guess she falls in love with him somehow. It's kind of weird.
Right.
Which gets his assistant, Lena, a little jealous, right? Because it looks like she's been madly in love with Dr. Madden for years or whatever. And when Lena finds out that Emily slept with Dr. Madden, she confronts her with a fucking knife and shit and says, like, if you don't love him, if you're not ready to die for him or whatever, that freaks Emily out. She fucking flies out of the house, right? And then months supposed to go by and she's pregnant, right? We find out she's pregnant. So I guess she wants to go back to the house to let Dr. Madden know that she's pregnant with his baby. And when she gets there, she finds Lena and Dr. Madden killing somebody else, right? To get this like serum that keeps him from fucking melting. I don't know what the hell it is. Keeps him alive, keeps him aging, yeah. And as she breaks in on them, the guy who's they're doing the stuff on, he like jumps out the thing. Lena fucking stabs him in the back, which pisses Dr. Madden off. And Dr. Madden like breaks all the vials or like the beakers that he has in his house, sets a fire, and it basically, because of the heat, I guess, it melts him or something, which we have one of the craziest freaking melting scenes that I've ever seen. And that pisses Lena off. She shoots Emily, right? And then we flash back to the present, where the reporter is like, he doesn't believe this story. And as a matter of fact, he's suspecting that the lady that's telling him the story is not the daughter of Emily. She's actually Emily.
Dun, dun, dun.
And his suspicions were correct. She admits that she is Emily. And she actually drugged this reporter, right? Like he's like passing out and shit. And then she lets him know that she needs his spinal fluid, which is what, Dr. Madden was doing to make his serum, so that she can keep her baby alive. Mm-hmm. So for the past 20 years, she's been pregnant with this child, and she's trying to keep it alive and keep the disease, because she also is inflicted with the same thing. She can't go out in the light. She can't go out in the heat. And as the reporter is passing out, we found out that the lady that's supposed to be her mother is actually Lena, the assistant, and she comes out with a syringe, and that's how we end the story. So Verno, what are your thoughts on
dude,
The Cold?
The Cold. This is, you guys know, I'm always talking about how gotta watch something twice. This is one of those occasions where watching it the second time really fucked it up for me. Like, it took it down, because I left, and I'm really curious to hear what you guys think. The first time I really enjoyed it a lot. I thought this was my favorite one. It was the one that I had the longest notes on. You know what I mean? I'm just kind of right. Yeah, that was cool. This was cool. This happened. This was cool. The second, I don't know. The first, I'll just say the positive things. The first time, I really thought that it felt like a creepy kind of slashery vibe with certain elements of it. There's all sorts of different elements going on. But like, even like the POV scene, and she's in the shower, and you've got Lena with the knife and bits like that. I thought it was pretty fucking cool. The twist at the end, I enjoyed it the first time. I don't know why. I was like, it seemed, after watching the second time, like, oh my God, how did I not? How high was I when I watched that the first time that I didn't see that this is what was going on? I thought the acting from the lead actress was pretty whack. I thought there was a step down in the acting, other than Secret of the Used Fella, for sure. Yeah. But I don't know. The second time, I couldn't really get into it. I thought it just seemed like really fucking silly. Both times, when they start making love, I'm like, what? I need to rewind it. Like, did they set this up? Where did this come from? You got this cute girl in her 20s this old ass guy with cold skin, and he's like all of a sudden starts making out with her, and like there was no signs that like, oh, she might be into that.
She's
And,
obviously got daddy issues.
She's got major daddy. She's got grandpa issues. She's got fucking something wrong with her.
Well, the idea is that she's been abused by her stepdad, right?
Right.
You know, and so like, I'm not saying it's justifying for anybody's actions, but like, typically when somebody's been sexually abused, they wind up not making the greatest decisions with sexual partners in the future, right?
For sure.
Especially when they leak like pink fucking
dude.
He's leaking the ectoplasm from fucking Ghostbusters 2. You know what I'm saying?
The finger cut scene when he cut his finger and that shit leaked out. It's kind of also like reminiscent of the Alien franchise and the synths, whatever. It's kind of, you know, it's not quite white, but it's like this clear. It's like looks like semen. To be perfectly honest, look like this guy busted a nut out of the cut in his finger.
Slightly bloody semen.
super gross. It's just like all of them, man. They're gonna win you over with the effects, though. You know what I mean? None of them overstay their welcome too long. The effects are badass, and like I said, I really fell for it the first time. Enjoyed seeing Mr. Eddie Spaghetti in the thing, but I don't know. The second time, it didn't work for me. I couldn't get into it, and it seemed cornier than it needed to be. I wish there was more like, I don't know, with them doing the story within the story. I mean, I guess it did. I was about to say it seemed pointless, but I guess for the twist at the end to work. And like I said, it did work for me the first time, so I can't complain too much. But it was, I have a hard time like placing it where what I think of it, because the first time it was my favorite, the second time it might have been my least favorite. So I'm kind of I don't know, maybe a third time's a charm on this one. But I didn't love it.
Okay. All right. Robbie, overall thoughts.
I mostly like this. I like this one. It's the one that I would say is the mid out of the three, right? And I would say that the strength is David Warner's performance, like Verno was talking about. Like, not only Secret of the O's, and we were talking about Star Trek and other shit like that, but the dude was in The Mouth of Madness. Yeah. I think it was right around the same time that this movie came out, right? He's just so good. He's that dude in these movies that you watch him and you're like, oh, it's this dude from this. Oh, no, it's not. It's the dude that I always thought was that guy, because he's just like generic British villain scientist kind of guy, right? But he's great in everything, and he's instantly recognizable, man. I think in Secret of the Ooze, he was originally supposed to be like Baxter Stockman. He's supposed to be more of a villainous present in that movie. Like fill in that role for Baxter Stockman in a way. Anyway, I really like him. It's his performance. You're right, Verno. The main chick, her performance is kind of whack. And also, let me pull on the spirit of Joe Corallo a little bit. Do they think we're fucking stupid?
Yes.
Like we're like I get that they use this all the time, where they have the same actor play relatives, right? Like, we all believe that Stephen Urkel became Stefan Urkel, and then when his cousin, his female cousin showed up, we all knew who the fuck was going on, right? Look at that.
I'm a completely different guy now.
Are those like 3D glasses, man? Is it like blue and red?
They are, baby.
Those are so dope. Where'd you get those? I want those, man.
I think I ordered them so that I could watch Jason 3D.
Nice.
Bro, those are so fucking dope, man. I love those, man. Yeah. Those are great. All right, so she's really rough in the movie, and also they treat us like we're stupid. Like, as soon as the flashback happens, I'm like, so she's the mom.
Right.
And I'm like, and I know that they do this where they're like, but even in a movie with a $4 million budget, you would do something to make her look different. I guess we're supposed to be like, oh, she's not blind.
Yeah.
You know, but
she even has the same affliction that the doctor has.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's right there.
Yeah, but I think Walker's amazing in the film. Her, not so much. I do like the story. The original story, I don't remember much about it, but I remember reading it for the first time and being like, Lovecraft really is scared of fucking everything. Like, we were just talking about the water shit. This whole story is about the fear and uneasy feeling, and you also got to remember what time he was around, of circulated air, brother. Like, that's what the story is. It's about air conditioning. It's a fear of fucking air conditioning, man. And then we can dive deeper into that. And like, what does that represent about like the fear of the hubris of mankind to feel like they can change things even so much as far as the weather and environment, right? But also Lovecraft is just a weird fucking dude, and his mom fucked him up. really, really fucking bad. His mom, and then I think his aunt. Maybe I could be getting that mixed up with some Edgar Allan Poe shit because they're both fucking weird dudes, from like similar eras. And great American horror writers, man. Like honestly, like Lovecraft and Poe. I know a lot of people know who Poe is, and Poe is like a lot of people respect it, but Lovecraft, I don't think gets as much love from like the general like just experience of like how important he is to American literature.
It's the type of stories that he wrote. People give more respect to like ghost stories. They're just more, I don't know. They're more well respected.
Yeah, and like Poe invented the detective story and shit like that, and that he gets a lot of credit for things like that. But man, like I don't know, man. To me, it's like, yeah, a detective story. That's fucking awesome. What about this fucking dude coming up with the idea that like weird ass angles in a room are going to fucking bring about something from another dimension, and it's an entity that's been here for eons. It doesn't give a shit. It's just going to drive you mad just even thinking about it, right? Can't even say his fucking name. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's ridiculous. And I think out of all the stories, this one has the best ending. With the idea that now she's using this technology to keep that baby alive because the baby's basically dead. It's stillborn. You know what I'm saying? And that adds a creep factor. I think all of the endings are rather abrupt, right? And some of them don't actually have a punchy payoff. This one has the most punchy payoff to me, mostly because it's just, I don't know. I found that a little unsettling and a little creepy. It also is structured like a lot of H.P. Lovecraft stuff. And then look at the influence, like, for instance, Dreams at Witch House, right? There are a lot of Lovecraft stories that start with somebody looking for a room to rent.
Oh, it was reminding me of that without even me realizing what it was reminding me of. That's
and then other people in this place where weird shit's happening. And so I do like it. I think it's solid. It's not my favorite, but it's not my least favorite. I do think it works. And the gore effects, when that dude's like melting away, just fucking looks awesome. When he's in the fucking ice bath, even that looks fucking awesome to me for some reason. The other woman's not that great in the movie, but she does have that like Norman Bates kind of vibe to her that brings that slasher element that you were talking about, Verno.
Mm-hmm.
I do love in the ending that she's still alive too. Like she takes on a new master, basically, with the death of the doctor or whatever. Dr. Madden. Is his first name John?
Right.
Like no shit. But I liked it. I thought it was solid, man. Mostly based on the performances and the ending and the special effects. Special effects rock.
Amazing.
Yeah. I agree with both of you guys again. I think it was mid. I don't think it was really that special. I was actually disappointed because it is from a Japanese director. So on that front, I was expecting certain things. Like I think The Drown brought more of that Japanese flavor than this one did, right? Like this one was kind of just a normal tale with an okay twist ending. Like Robbie said, it was really predictable. It's like, yeah, that's Emily. Yeah,
right.
You know, cool that Lena's still there. That was kind of cool. You know, she's still around. Like Robbie said, she became the new. She's her Renfield or whatever, you know what I mean? But I don't know. It fell flat for me too, Verno.
I think for me, like I'm kind of just repeating myself, but just like imagine if Dr. John Madden was played by a younger man, and you actually bought the love story. To me, it seems so forced.
Yeah,
and it's such a big part of it to make you actually buy into what's going on. It's like this chick would never be with this guy. Like in a million years, it made no sense, and that really like throws the whole thing off.
He wasn't sinister enough for me to do the sneaky shit that he was doing.
Right.
And then Emily also, who was so sweet and innocent, right? She ends up being a total fucking basket case at the end of the shit, and it's like I don't know if there's a reason for any of their motivations, if that makes any sense. The only one that showed any kind of like was acting her part was Lena, right? Like Lena was madly in love, and she would do anything for Dr. Madden, and including keeping his mistress alive. I guess you would call her mistress or whatever, just because she was pregnant with his baby. It was a reminder of him.
Maybe that's one of the thematic things in the film or in that section in that story is because he's obsessed with delaying aging. So maybe he's got Leo DiCaprio syndrome, right? And that's something that the woman that's like tending the house like is dealing with. She's still in love with this dude, even though knowing that she's aging beyond him, even though she's not. But you get what I'm saying? Maybe that's a part of it. Like maybe like it's like his obsession with youth is also portrayed in the way that they could do a better job at him like if he's delaying his aging, maybe he should have been a younger actor. Right. You know what I'm saying?
They just could have even set it up more. I mean, I think we're never going to buy that love story with those actors, but still, there could have been more of an attempt to before that scene where it happens, and all of a sudden they're having naked, cold, Mr. Freeze sex. They could have hinted at it before that.
No, Aura.
Right. Yeah, the only thing more disgusting than him melting was him fucking her. Like that was
right. No special effects needed. Just like that's Brian used all right. That's disgusting.
Oh, bro, he ain't even using a condom. That's nasty.
Disgusting. Anyway, yeah, I thought it was all right. I agree with you guys. It was decent. All right, last segment, Whispers. This one was directed by Brian Usna. Also written by Brian Usna, and this one is loosely based off the Lovecraft story, The Whisperer in Darkness. So this one stars Sidney Coleman as Sarah, Oba Bobatunde as Paul, who you may know from The Manchurian Candidate, The Notebook, John Q, Philadelphia. He's been in a bunch of pretty decent movies.
Which one is he? Who did he play?
He's in
Philadelphia.
The partner.
Right? Oh, okay.
He's the cop. Okay. How High Life with Eddie Murphy and Martin. He was in that.
He's
movie.
In a lot of shit.
Yeah. And Don Calfa, man, as Mr. Benedict, who everyone here knows from The Return of the Living Dead.
Ernie.
Yeah.
Are you kids on PCP?
Which I just found out reading his filmography that he was the guy in Weekend at Bernie's. Which I did not put two and two together.
Yes, he is.
He's Bernie?
Is he Bernie? I don't.
He's not Bernie, but he's in the movie. Yeah,
he's in there. So this one basically is about two cops, right? They're chasing down a guy named the Butcher. They're in this. It opens up with this car chase, right? They're chasing down the Butcher, and while they're chasing down the Butcher, they're having like this little argument. And we come to find out that they slept together, Sarah and Paul, right?
Another not fucking understanding this romance. You know what I'm saying? It's like, what?
What a fucking time to have a fucking argument about this shit. Like,
yeah, no shit. I knew we shouldn't have slept together.
I knew we should have slept together. It's like, I'm scared, Paul. I'm scared. I'm pregnant. I'm scared. It's like,
and you're like, bitch, drive. Like, pay attention. We're in high-speed chase, man.
Yeah, so they're in this high-speed chase, chasing down this notorious whatever criminal called the Butcher.
Who might be an alien. Jesus. You know what I'm saying? Like, pay attention. Shit.
Which leads them into this, like, abandoned warehouse factory. I don't know what it is. They actually, like, she loses control of the car flips over or whatever, and she wakes up, her partner is outside of the car, she's trapped in the car, she tries to get out the car, she breaks the glass, whatever. In the midst of that, she sees somebody drag her partner off, right? Like, you don't really see the person that's dragging her partner off screen. So then she tries, of course, to find out where he's being drugged to. She's following this blood, trail that he's leaving behind. And the person that drags him into this warehouse elevator and goes down. So she's trying to search the factory for her partner. And basically she runs into this dude who claims to be the landlord of this place. And also saying that, the guy she's looking for is the Butcher. And what I found strange about this is that, like, isn't he an accessory to murder? Like, by admitting that he knows that this guy is doing this shit, like bringing people there to kill them and stuff. But anyway, so she's like, she's all distraught and shit. Help me find him or whatever. And he's acting like really strange, the dude. Like, he's saying weird shit. And they basically go to, I guess, his apartment within the warehouse, which is weird. And we're introduced to somebody that he claims is his wife. Um, and she could care. She could give a fuck less. She's like, I don't care who you people are, just help me find my partner. So they agree. And this one does show the Necronomicon, but it's like the least involved out of all the stories, right? Because the first two stories in the Drown, they use the book to bring back the dead. In the Cold, they use it to make the serum that keeps Dr. Madden alive. But in this one, they don't really show what the fuck the book does. It's just in the room. They just cut to
I guess it turns people's fucking spinal cords into manta rays or some shit, man.
Right.
Well, I got another kind of thought of what those things could be, but I guess we'll get into it. So anyway, he leads her down this hallway. He's trying to lead her to the butcher, and they find themselves in this like old freaking cavern that I guess is like from ancient fucking times or whatever. And she finds her partner, but her partner's brain has been sucked out or some shit like that by some weird fucking bat creature or whatever. So she tries to escape. The creature sucked his brain and becomes him. Like he's like, Sarah, do you hear me? Some weird shit like that.
It's a pretty good impression, actually.
This is my brain or some shit like that. So we come to find out that the dude, Mr. Benedict, and his wife that she ran into are actually either the butcher, the guy they were chasing, which they never really are clear. They kind of make it look like it's Mr. Benedict, but they're basically in cahoots with these bat creatures because they basically throw her down a fucking pit or some shit full of like body parts and shit. That's when she sees the bats and her partner and stuff. And then she kind of comes to. They're cutting her fucking arm off for some fucking reason. I don't know why. And then all of a sudden she wakes up in this hospital, and the people that played Benedict and the wife, they are now a doctor and her mother. And they're talking to her about like her baby because she said she was pregnant in the beginning or whatever. And I guess she was thinking of having an abortion. And she didn't tell her mother that she was having an abortion because she knows how her mother feels about it or whatever. But they're implying that the baby is dead, which I'm not 100% clear on. So, they're saying that she was basically knocked out for a few weeks. She never was in this cavern warehouse shit. She basically had the accident and was in the hospital. And then she asked for Paul, her husband, and they tell her that he's like right next to her, that he's brain dead or whatever. They reveal the curtain, and there's Paul without the fucking back of his head is all carved out and shit like that. It's disgusting. And then all of a sudden, like it like fades into back, like they're in the cave and shit. And the mother is one of the bat aliens or whatever. And she reveals that the baby is actually inside of her, which is kind of crazy.
Just below the vagina on her chest, baby.
And then
they get that same vagina in the chest that the vampires in Blade 2 have.
Yeah. Then she's surrounded by the bat creatures. Not to mention that her legs are fucking cut off. And the mother starts cutting off her last arm that she has left.
Yeah, it's bone marrow. They need bone marrow.
They need bone marrow. Some crazy shit. I don't know. This was the wildest one out of all of them. I was like, I don't know what's going on. I had to watch this 3 times. Like I did a Verno plus one.
Dude, that's what I needed.
To understand what the hell was really going on. And I think I got it. But I want to hear your guys' Verno.
First of all, I'm glad you gave that recap, because this is the only one that I didn't get a chance to rewatch. Robbie, you mentioned earlier they all end abruptly. I don't know if any of us really mentioned that for the first one. The first one ended super abrupt too. That was an issue for me. This one I thought ended really abruptly. I was like, wait, whoa. And maybe it was the quickest one. I could be wrong about that. Just in general, I thought it was the quickest. But tonally, I think this one is more like what I thought the whole movie might have felt like. If you're getting a Brian Usna anthology, I thought this one took itself the least serious out of all of them. It was having the most fun. It had actual silly characters, like the old couple kind of gave me like Rosemary's Neighbors vibes, kind of a thing with
Motel Hell.
This old couple. Yeah, I mean they were having a lot of fun with it. The actors were, and her partner, that cop, flopping it all around. That was insane. That was really, really cool. I thought it looked badass. The woman, again, with the vagina in her chest and the baby in her belly, that looked really, really cool. The baby in there and everything. It was just like a whirlwind, though. Like, it was like, whoa. Like, I definitely needed to watch this one again. But it was, again, I'm curious. Dude, anthologies are hard, I think, for me to really be like, you know what I mean? Compared to like a movie, by the end of the movie, I could be like 3.5 or 4. You know what I mean? There's something like a lot easier for me to judge about it. Anthologies are tricky to judge these short stories because they have a different job than what a movie does. You're not required to do as much character work. But anyway, I liked it. I did like it. I thought it was each one of these wins me over by the end with the practical effects. Yeah. And I thought this one was pretty wild with the story and pretty fun. It might be my favorite, but it could be my least favorite too. Because the way it wraps up just so abruptly and it's over. But it was cool and it was fun. I kind of wish the rest of the movie was more tonally like this one. I wish everybody else was having as much fun as Brian Usna was when he made this.
He's having a ball too.
Right, definitely. It was cool.
Oh yeah. Robbie, what'd you think about this one?
This is my favorite one. I fucking love it. I love this one. It's my favorite one. Now, I watched this whole thing only once. Okay, I didn't do 2. I didn't do 3, and I'm looking forward to watching this shit again. But I love the third bit. Now, here's the thing. I didn't love it because the story was better. Story sucks. Story is kind of dumb, right? I mean, you can piece it together. Yeah, like this couple, like, so first of all, that dude is the butcher because he's wearing the same like pink fucking rubber shoes, right? Mm-hmm. And so it's all manipulation. Theme wise, I think it actually, you really got to pull for this, but like, I think you're right on the nose a little bit, Fable. Like, this woman is pregnant with a child that she may not want. And then she has this anxiety of the fact that, especially we're talking about 1993, the anxiety, the guilt, the shame of choosing to have an abortion or something. Right. And then even in the dream within a dream, that happens in the movie, right?
You're right.
But when the woman, the mom is like, "Oh, the baby's mine now," right? Like, there's an element of that because I mean, how many like say I don't know, like especially at this time, religious mothers would be like, "Well, I'll take on the baby," and that literally happened, right? Where like grandmas adopt their own grandchildren because of different circumstances, whether it's whatever it is, right? So I think that fear and that anxiety is part of here. That's not a Lovecraftian thing because Lovecraft I think Lovecraft was just scared of anything growing within somebody. In fact, that's actually a part of me. Like, I'm glad I'm not a woman who ever got pregnant. You know what I'm saying? Because then I'm like, something's growing inside of me that like it's kind of creepy if you really think about it. Now, I got friends who have kids and I love them and I think they're the most beautiful, magical thing out there. But dude, there's literally something growing inside of you, fucking like a parasite that's like leeching every fucking bit of energy and nutrition out of you. And it never stops. Maybe you get lucky. They turn 18 and they go off to college. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, even I know people that got kids in their 20s that are still parasites on them. You know what I'm saying? So there's that element. But like, I think the story is it's not the greatest, strongest story with the strongest characters at all. But Verno, you said it, fun. Brian Usna is having some fucking fun with this one. It is absolutely insane. It is insane. Don't worry, Billy. You don't need me to grow a parasite within my body to continue and propagate the human race. Everybody else is taking care of that for me, man. So trust me, man. When my sisters hit a certain level of kids, I'm like, okay, I'm good then. I'm good. Yeah. We've hit the quota as a family. Right. So now we're good.
Hit the replacement rate. Yeah.
That being said, nothing. Yeah, you two both are fathers. You have kids, and I love kids. Okay. I think kids are great. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the fear of something growing inside of me and leeching off of me my entire life. But it's not even the theme. It's not even the story. It's not the characters. It is the sense of fun, the wildness, the best special effects in the whole goddamn thing. Those bat, manta ray, devil ray creatures, brother. Insane, stupid, ridiculous, but so Brian Usna, right? I can't sit here and tell you that I think Society is a 5 you dig movie and then not appreciate these weird ass spinal cord manta ray things that are like speaking with they're like mutagen man, like little fucking things with eyeballs and brains inside of them. Like it's fucking the mutagen man from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So much fun. The best special effect, the gnarliest thing, one of the most gnarly, gross, and still, I think, scary things I've ever seen in a fucking movie is the deboned, debrained fucking cop partner.
Yeah.
Like, I've seen some Texas Chainsaw Massacres. There's elements of Texas Chainsaw Massacres Part 2 in particular where you see like the face of somebody and then the light shining through, and just the fact that there's no eyes in there, but you see the eye hole. But the way they do that here, oh my god, dude, it's fucking freaky, dude. It's like I don't even want to think about it too much. I don't want to give myself nightmares. That shit really is unsettling. Great special effects, a dumb story, an interesting theme, not so great performances, but the two butchers or whatever were fucking awesome. Total Motel Hell vibes, right? Which is a movie I love. And I love Ernie from Return of the Living Dead in this movie. He's good in everything I see him from. And every time I see him, I'm like, he looks so familiar. He looks like a Muppet. What's he from? And then I always eventually put it together. He's the dude. He's the mortician in Return of the Living Dead wearing the
OG.
fucking,
Okay.
Yeah, he's the one wearing the red velvet fucking pajamas. He's got the gun. And in the movie, there's this element that maybe he's like a former Nazi. I don't know if you ever read that into.
He's got a Nazi pistol. And
he's got a Nazi pistol. He's obsessed with like burning things and like he's got all this stuff and really cool, really interesting. But he's great in the movie. The woman, his wife or whatever, is in tons of shit. She's in every TV show you can think of. She's in there. She's in a bunch of movies too, but she's in like name a TV show. I guarantee you, she's probably fucking in it if it's from the 80s, 90s, or early 2000s. But I love it.
Yeah, Confessions. Just
no?
I think so. Man. It was a rough time. No, but I love it, dude. And it's really because of that special effect, dude. Whether it's in the hospital bed or whether it's down in that cellar or whatever, when you see that filleted fucking cop, that's so fucking cool, man. It's so cool. So I this is my favorite one, man. But not because it's good. But because it's wild.
When they peeled Paul off of the damn bed next to her, that was disgusting, man. Like,
and he's like, oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, man, I agree with you. Brian Usna looked like he was having a ball. This is probably the most fun one. I do agree, Verno, that this does have the tone that maybe all of them should have carried over. Although I do appreciate the different takes, you know what I mean?
Right.
Japanese flavor, the European flavor, whatever it might be. Although the story is weird as fucking wild and crazy, I think this is the strongest themed one out of all of them. Because upon my second and third watch, I definitely was catching vibes of like a pro-abortion story. The mantas, as you call them, they look like clitorises. They look like pussy fucking lips and a damn hole there. You know what I mean?
Do you know what a clitoris is, Fable? I'm just joking.
A little guy under the hood.
I have three kids. So I think I know.
Doesn't mean you know what a clitoris is. You know what a hole is.
I was winging it for 25 years. But yeah, those things remind me of vaginal female parts. The way they're talking about like God, right? And rational human beings and stuff like that. Like the guy says, oh, well, we're living in an irrational world or some shit like that. I'm not smart enough to articulate exactly what they're saying, but I'm pretty sure all the characters match up to something that was going on at that time with that particular subject, right? The pro-abortion, abortion. And her getting her limbs cut off to me was like a symbol of they're taking the right away of her controlling her own body.
Oh yeah.
Right? You know what I mean? There's a lot of little things that I'm probably just forgetting or telling, but there's a lot of little things. The way Paul was like brain dead, right? Like almost as if he's just going along like with whatever society wants kind of thing. I can't articulate it that well, but I was getting a lot of like pro-abortion story kind of there, and everybody there was trying to like stop her, right? And that's really what I was getting out of it.
I think you're right, dude.
Which 100%. Is funny because just what I was saying about Rosemary's Baby, those people are playing the same kind of role. The neighbors, where it's like everyone's trying to take agency from Rosemary.
Yeah.
Everyone's trying to take the agency from this main character.
Yeah, because like the mom, or she's the butcher, but she's also her mother in the other, reality, right. Whatever. She was like, oh, Paul would have forgiven you, and I forgive you, or whatever. I would have forgiven you. Oh, I thought the baby was dead. She was like, no, and she pulls it out, and then she's like cutting off her fucking arms and shit like that. Like, bitch, you're not gonna, you know what I mean? You're not doing this, like, kind of thing. And she like Robbie said, she was just scared, and she just wasn't ready to be a mom or whatever it was. And I think there is a strong theme there.
I love what y'all are saying about the missing limbs, like being like a loss of agency, but also like literally they're also cutting them off because they have to feed the bone marrow to these fucking little children. Right. So they're literally like parasites, like parasites, like leeching and eating all of the what we learned about bone marrow being like such an important factor in vitalization of life in a human, right? And like eating bone marrow is like it's more than just eating flesh or something. There's almost like this connotation of like taking someone's like the vitality of their life with that or something, if that makes sense.
Right. It's not even just like you think of the bones as your structure and the thing holding you together, but it's even inside of the bone. It's like as deep within you as you can go in your bones.
Yeah. And the fact that because I guess some of the biggest opposition to abortion were actually women. Right? It was like a woman versus woman kind of thing too. Like some women were like, I could control my body, and some women were like, you're crazy, bitch. You know what I mean? This is it's a gift from God, and you know what I mean? And I got that from that, like, and that the men were just going along because we're kind of controlled by women in a certain aspect.
Almost every aspect.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
You get some good sex, all of a sudden you brainless. You just skin flopping around in a hotel bed. You know what I'm saying?
The pussy monster having Paul's brain inside of it, right? And it's like, I don't know. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, like, they're incubating, right? And like, no, dude, you're right, dude. Like,
it's just something right there, and it took me like 3 watches because this shit is crazy. You know what I mean? I did not get that the first time. I'm like, what?
And it's less in your face than say John Carpenter's pro-life. Yeah. Like if you watch that, that's a little bit like, that's a little on the nose, right?
Maybe,
you know what I'm saying?
Maybe Brian Usna was trying to say something, but. Then again, maybe I might be reading into it too much. Maybe he was just bugging out having
I saw your look of confusion, Verno. Pro-life is John Carpenter's episode in Masters of Horror Season 2.
Oh, okay. I was wondering what that was. I was like, did he do a documentary?
Yeah, it was starring Ron Perlman. It's great.
Nice.
All right, guys. So let's put a button on this, man. Overall thoughts on the movie as a whole, the framing device, the stories within it, the whole thing, and give it a score out of 5 backlogs. Verno, what do you think about Necronomicon?
I mean, it's tough. Like I said, man, I think they're tough to judge just in general. Like I said, I just did one last week. And even when I did that, I ended up switching it up. And I gave it, not that I'm saying we should do this, but I gave it a letter grade because for some reason that's easier for me to do because I could be like average and then go from there. It's hard to give these a score for me. But overall, I will say, like it's badass in a lot of ways. It's it's practical effects heavy. That's every segment wins you over with the practical effects by the end of it. If you're a horror fan, if you like shit like that, every time you're gonna be like, okay, worth it. Crazy monster in the basement. Also, there's a lot of wildness throughout the whole thing. But I didn't love any of them. I don't think any of us really loved any of them. Maybe Robbie with the last one. Maybe Fable on your third watch with the last one.
It could have had a better story, but man, yeah, I get what you're saying.
So I'm gonna give it. It feels like a low. I mean, you're pretty open to a loose score. I'm gonna give it a 3.25 because I was about to give it a 3 or a 3.5 seems too good. Like a solid 7 for me. That seems just a little high for me comparing it to other anthologies. Most anthologies don't do what this one does, but there could be more fun. Almost every anthology I can think of is fun, like fun, like Creep Show, Mortuary Collection, even the VHSs. They have a lot of fun in those. Not that I really like them that much. So this one isn't as fun as I wish it was, but it's still cool. And like I say all the time, I would have never watched this in a million years. I'd never even heard of this fucking thing. I'm not going to come across it on Shudder, evidently. Like you can't find it anywhere. So I'm definitely glad that I watched it, but it's not one that I would rush out and recommend to a shitload of people unless you're heavy in the game and you're looking for a fix. You're looking for a practical effects fix. So I'll give it a 3.25 for me.
All right, I like it. Robbie, out of 5 backlogs, your overall thoughts on just the whole movie and your score?
I like the movie. I think it's good. It is the special effects that really carry it. I do have that gore fix that I need to scratch and itch every so often. So I love that I know this movie exists now. If Arrow or Vinegar Syndrome or anybody announced a Blu-ray release of this, I would pre-order it like immediately. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is something I want in my collection. This is something I want to show people. This is a perfect movie to play at a rambunctious, wild adult Halloween party. Right? This is a perfect movie to have friends to come. Because, like, I love when people go, oh, you like horror movies, man? I'm like, yeah, dude, we should hang out sometime. What kind of movies you like? And then they're all like, oh, The Shining, and I like Freddy, and, I like Candyman. And I'm like, okay, no offense. I love all those movies too. You're a little bit of a normie. Let's watch something. Let's watch Nightmare Sisters, right? Let's watch Society. Like, and this is one of those movies where, like, Pieces. Let's watch fucking Pieces. Oh, you like Friday the 13th? You like Jason movies? Have you ever seen Pieces? Right? Like, I love making people that think they know and love horror movies understand that they are way out of their fucking depth. I want to throw them into the fucking deep end and just be like, dude, don't worry. I'm there with you. You're not going to drown, and you're going to come out of this on the other side loving Pieces, loving Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer.
Yeah. Slumber Party Massacre too.
Exactly. You're going to love it. So I think this movie is one of those movies for me, so I have to own it. I love it. I think it's rewatchable. And I love that. I love the special effects. Not any, like, I have favorite stories, but, like, they're not my favorite stories. Does that make sense? Like, I have my favorite segments. I have my favorite moments. I do like it. I think taking everything out and being very critical of this movie, but still being very fair to this movie with what I love and expect out of Brian Usna and others, I think this movie is a 2.5. However, it gets a 0.5 bump from me for Brian Usna. He automatically gets an extra 0.5 from me, and it's Horrorfest, so I'm going 3.5, motherfuckers. That's what
nice. Oh yeah. Yeah, this one's tough to score for me as well. I think it fails on a few levels. I think it actually fails as an anthology, if that makes any sense, because first of all, H.P. Lovecraft is reading the Necronomicon, and these stories clearly take place in different time periods. In fact, some of them might take place in the future of where the fuck he's at right now, so it doesn't make much sense to me.
That's true. What does H.P. Lovecraft know about police chases and fucking...
Yeah,
right, seriously. That's funny.
So it doesn't make much sense in that way. I think it fails in bringing the themes across of H.P. Lovecraft. Besides having some extraterrestrial monsters in it, which we can all recognize as an H.P. Lovecraft thing, I don't really think none of these stories kind of. Maybe the library is probably the most. The wraparound is the most H.P. Lovecraft thing, in my opinion.
By the way, I had to look up Robbie once you mentioned that he wanted to put the prosthetics on so he looked more like Lovecraft. They did it. I never looked at a picture of
Yeah.
Lovecraft. It's like, oh yeah, no, they did it. They got the chin, they got the
Doesn't that
nose.
guy look like a guy who's scared of fucking everything?
He does, bro. Yes.
Every picture's like this.
Oh shit. Oh god. What's his camera gonna do?
Oh no, it's air conditioned in here.
Sorry, Fable.
Nah, it's all good. The stories vary from good, to from okay to good. None of them are really great. But that being said, it does have some badass special effects, like really good shit, like shit that we've seen movies that might be better than this, but don't have the love or the, you know what I mean?
And this is 1993. You don't have this in the 90s, man. It's so, I mean, you do, but it's like few and far between, dude.
Not this
Maybe one of the
much in
reasons
one
why this
movie.
movie went the way of Andrew Dice Clay, everybody would just rather bury it, right? Because, I mean, fuck, even like horror movies starting in 1987, 88, they started losing a lot of that bite that they have, right? But once we got the video stores and you don't need a wide release, fuck it, dude. You know what I'm saying? This movie is maybe way more gnarly than anything. Like when I watch like Bad Moon, y'all ever seen Bad Moon, the werewolf movie from the 90s? There's special effects in there where I'm like, holy shit, this movie came out in 96. You're out of your fucking mind. They didn't make movies like this back then. It was all hocus fucking pocus and shit, dude. Like, what the hell, man? But shit does exist, and I'm happy it does. And there's even more to discover, I think.
Yeah. This movie should definitely have a behind the scenes featurette that I can watch to show me how the fuck they came up with.
Seriously, I want to know how big that monster was in the basement in the Drowned. You know what I mean? Was it little or because it looked huge?
Yeah, it looked like a bunch of maverick special effects artists using the budget they had and the money they had to create the coolest shit they could think of. You know what I mean? And I think they achieved that for the most part. But story-wise, I think it falls flat on a few of the things it probably set out to do, which is the Lovecraft stuff, the anthology horror thing. But it's also well fucking made, right? Like it's well made, it's well shot. Maybe not well acted, but it has a ton of people in this shit that you're like, oh, that guy. Oh, that guy. Oh, that guy. So much to the fact that I'm like, how have I never heard of this movie in 30-something years? That this movie, and I'm watching all this Brian Usna stuff. Love Return of the Living Dead 3. I know a lot of people are so with that movie, but I absolutely love it. I just love Usna's style, and all the practical effects, seeing all the cool actors in this movie. Seeing the how well it's made, Jeffrey Combs. I mean, come on, bro, come on. And I never heard of this thing. It's beyond me, but I am going to give it a 3.5 as well. I don't think it's up there with the best of anthologies, right? The creep shows.
Yeah, but it's not the worst.
Yeah, stuff like that. But I agree with Robbie where it's like, if you're into horror, like we're into horror, you owe it to yourself to go track this shit down, especially if you like Brian Usna, Reanimator.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. That ilk of movie, you owe it to yourself to at least watch this once. And
even if you're a Stuart Gordon fan, you've never made your way into the Usna catalog,
right?
Like you got first of all check out that shit, but yeah, check this out.
And I am happy that I have it under my belt now. I'm happy that I can say I saw this one, and yeah, if it gets cheap enough, I might pick up the Blu-ray to this one too. This seems like a worthy Blu-ray purchase. So yeah, that's our review. Thank you everybody for hanging out with us tonight. Everybody in the chat, we had a great chat tonight. You guys always knock it out of the park. Love you guys so much. Thanks for joining me. Sorry, I'm not the greatest at recapping anthology stories. I tried my best.
Hey, I needed it, man. I needed it for a few. I was like, okay, this is actually helping.
But I appreciate you guys sticking around and following my incoherent.
Fucking Fable did
recaps
his
of these
best
movies.
dead meat tonight, man. I love it.
But yeah, before we head out of here, just want you guys to let everybody know what you got coming up. Horrorfest, of course, continues on both of these gentlemen's channels. So, Verno, let the people know where they can find you and what you got coming up next, brother.
Blood Splatter Chatter, baby. We'll be there on Thursday. We just did Jeepers Creepers last night because we had to move it from last Thursday, which was a great dude. I'm telling you, Robbie, watch Jeepers Creepers because I don't know if you were there, caught the very beginning of what I said. I was in the same boat where I'd never watched the thing until pretty recently. It's good. It's actually way better than I thought it was.
I own the first two on Blu-ray.
Dude, you watch it, go in knowing like this is just a pulpy, fun, feels like a comic book turned into a slasher in a way. It's like it's fun. It's really good. But on Thursday night over on Blood Splatter Chatter, I love doing these. These have become like my favorite shows to do. We're first of all, we're talking about The Howling from 1981. Many consider it top 3 or maybe top werewolf movie of all time, which I've come around to putting it there myself. And we are giving shit away. And we're playing trivia, man. I'm putting together a bunch of trivia. It's going to be super fun. These are always like the most fun shows that we do. So I'm giving away a Jason mask to the winner of the trivia in the chat. This is going to be like a monster movie theme kind of trivia deal. I made these bitches. Whoa. I made these bitches myself. I've got a part 3 I'll part with, or I've got a part 4. If you win the trivia in the chat, you get your choice of those 2 masks, one of them. And I have, if that's not your bag, I have a Saw NECA figure because it's not really my bag. So I will give this away too. I got it as a Christmas gift. So come hang out with us. It's a shit ton of fun. Thursday, 8:00 Central Time, Blood Splatter Chatter. It's gonna be there, Bob. I'm telling you, man. I don't know how deep into the horror game you are, Bobby, or any of you guys in the chat, but it's not gonna be like they're monster movies. So most of them are like blockbuster, like big movies, like the stuff in the trivia. So you don't have to be a diehard horror guy to win a free mask that I'll send you. So be there or be square. It's going to be a ton of fun. Really excited about it.
Hell yeah. Thanks for joining me again, Verno. I definitely I recommend that everybody go watch Blood Splatter Chatter. I did catch on the rewind your Jeepers Creepers review, and I love how you guys handled the elephant in the room. You didn't dodge it or anything. We all know about the creator of that film and the stigma. Yeah.
worth mentioning too. On Sunday, I think 6:45 Central Time, I have my buddies Peter and Eric. We're doing Invasion of the Body Snatchers, 1978. Nice. So another just flat out fucking banger that we're talking about on Sunday.
Oh yeah, but yeah, I enjoyed the conversation on Jeepers Creepers.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
I think I like the conversation better than Jeepers Creepers. That's just my opinion.
No, I'm with you, man. Hey, I get it because I was there once, but I've come around to it. But yeah, thanks for having me, man. This was fun. I'm glad I picked this one. This was
absolutely, brother. Rock and Robbie, let the people know where they can find you. What you got coming up?
Well, I'm over at Pop Culture Philosophers. Go sub up, please. We're nearing 25,000 subscribers. It'd be cool to hit that. So that's awesome, super cool. Last night we did Curse of Frankenstein, the Terrence Fisher Hammer film that started Hammer horror. Hell, started British horror, to be honest with you, right? Peter Cushing, Christopher Lee. Like, such a great movie. It was a great conversation. Dylan is going to be talking about, I think it's called The Woman or the Girl on the Third Floor. It's like a CM Punk starring.
I never knew he was
horror film. Yeah, me neither, man. So that should be interesting. And then on Monday we're finishing. It's taken us a few years, but we're finishing the Three Mothers trilogy by Dario Argento, and we're doing Mother of Tears. And I got 2 people on that panel who have no idea what the fuck they're in for. I'm really, really excited, man. And in fact, I think one of those guys is like, "Yeah, I love Suspiria," and I'm like, "Oh shit, dude,
who is it?
But Mother of Tears is I'm very, very excited for that show. So we were watching this movie. Jelani will probably tell the story too. We were watching this movie, and my sister was there at the house, right? And there's a moment that happens in this movie. My sister was like, she straight up was like, "Well, it's getting late. I'm heading out. You guys have a good one. Just let me know if the movie has a happy ending. I'm out." And if you've ever seen the movie, I can tell you what moment it was, and you'll be like, "Oh yeah, no shit." But anyway, Mother of Tears. That's a Monday night, 8 p.m. Central.
Yeah, but Robbie, does it have any clitoris monster bats in it?
Something like that.
Oh yeah, everybody go check out Pop Culture Philosophers. I wish I could have joined you for the Hammer thing. I know you put it out there. I'm definitely one of those guys that want to get into Hammer, but I just couldn't do two of these things back to back.
I wish I could have too, man, because I was
Yeah.
doing my show right before your show,
Yeah.
and then this one, and then I get off my show and I put you on, and there's fucking Link. I'm like, I was just with him. He never mentioned he was on here.
He got you. He got you.
He did. I would have got you out a little bit earlier had I known.
Yeah, no shit. Because we're sitting there waiting.
We sat and bullshitted after the show for 10, 12 minutes or whatever, and then I get out, and there he is. I'm like, what?
I win. No, but yeah, no, great conversation. Both of you guys, awesome shows. Great part of Horrorfest. I am learning from these two pros right here. I'm still, still getting my bearings, but we're gonna keep going. We're gonna keep trucking. Next week, our third entry into Horrorfest, Chud. Can't wait, from 1984.
I'll be there for that.
Yeah, we got my boy Rockin' Robbie returning again for Chud. I got my boy Matt, Heroes for Hire Comics. Gary B, the casual comic guy, will be there as well. And my brother Jake, Hounds of Gore, man, who I can't wait for you to meet, Robbie, because this guy's a horror head just like us. So I can't wait for you guys to chop it up about Chud. So, guys, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Everybody in the chat, we will see you next week for another episode of Horrorfest 2025. Station.